Monica Kaufman close-ups.
You know my next guest as a serious British actor featured in serious films. And former Academy Award winner Ben Kingsley is precisely that. But as we talked over tea, I discovered other sides to this varied man. He was in Los Angeles working on a film biography of the prophet Moses for Ted Turner's network. The 51-year-old was on hand for the premiere of a new miniseries that also airs on TNT Easter Sunday.
And to whom are these prayers addressed? Which gods?
Ben Kingsley portrays Potiphar, a powerful Egyptian aristocrat in the Old Testament story of Joseph. Over several evenings, you'll see the pious young man influence Potiphar. But in the past, Ben Kingsley has played a high-tech crook, mob kingpin Meyer Lansky, and Dr. Watson to Michael Caine's bumbling Sherlock Holmes. Critics praised his emotionally controlled Holocaust survivor in Schindler's List. But when Turner offered him a chance to play the prophet Moses and the powerful Potiphar, Ben Kingsley jumped.
It's very, very simple. I found that in playing a man of absolute power, whom Potiphar is, that it was not as if I had to prepare. There was an absolutely screaming, crying need in me to say, come on, Ben, you've got to hand in your card-carrying membership of the victim club, and you've got to do a man like Moses who has absolute power over the destiny of his people, of his life, etc., etc.
Or Potiphar in this case.
Or Potiphar in this case, yes, exactly. So it was as if I was ready, you see.
15 years earlier, Ben Kingsley was ready for the role that earned him an Academy Award and worldwide recognition.
Mohandas K. Gandhi, attorney at law. I'm on my way to Pretoria to conduct a case for an Indian trading firm.
Didn't you hear me? There are no colored attorneys in South Africa.
Sir, I was called to the bar in London and enrolled at the High Court of Chancery. I am, therefore, an attorney.
The role of the Indian who created nonviolent social change that helped bring the British Empire to its knees and inspire American civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. was amazingly Kingsley's second film role ever. But what may not be so amazing is what had to have been the fire behind their performance. Kingsley's father was an Indian who immigrated to England and married a British actress. Kingsley is half Indian and half English. Ben Kingsley loves to talk about his work, but not about his personal life. Yet discrimination was a factor in his childhood. When he first started acting, he used his birth name, Krishna Bhanji, but changed it after an audition.
There were early auditions, one or two I think it was. No, in fact it wasn't, it was one. And I auditioned under my birth name, and the director of the company said, it is a wonderful audition. And I was waiting for the but, and sure enough the but came. It is a wonderful audition, but I can't really see how we can use you in our repertoire. I then changed my name, literally went from one town in the north of England to another, about 40 miles, did exactly the same audition. And they said, when can you start? All I'd done is change my name.
But you're so British more than Indian. It was the name?
It was the name. It was definitely the name. Don't forget that the British hold the class system and their way of viewing other races as almost sacred. Don't forget that they did police a huge amount of the world's surface area with brute force.
Prejudice.
Not my favorite word.
Victim of?
I'm sorry to say yes. Incredible though it may seem. Sometimes not in a very heavy way. But the English, when I was at school, and I hope they've changed, do have subtle racism down to a work of art. I mean, they even have down to a work of art how to recognize amongst themselves whether or not you went to public school or private school, whether or not you are nouveau riche, middle class, upper lower middle class, the subdivisions are so minute. They will listen to your accent and make an instant judgment on what your background was, etc., etc. This is a wonderful irony that I ended up playing Gandhi.
You won your Oscar for that.
I think I probably won my Oscar for the angriest performance I've ever given in my life. You watch Martin Luther King when he's in full flow, and that is the angriest man in the world. And he wouldn't mind me saying that. Coretta Scott King was at our screening at Atlanta of Gandhi, as were some of his sons. Yeah, it was anger. Don't push people off trains. In the long run, it doesn't pay.
That passion may have began as a child.
Were you precocious, actually?
God, yes. The number of times I was told to shut up. That's why I can't stop talking. Shut up!
And were you asking questions, or were you giving directions?
No, I was asking questions and giving myself answers, and always the center of attention. Always.
Did you know as a little person that you wanted to be an actor?
Well, not to go too deeply into it, just accept the fact that I had to be an actor in order to survive. It's not a job for me, it's a way of life. It's the only way that I can function. It's the only way I can function, by being who I am. I would die if somebody said to me tomorrow, okay, that's it, no more acting. I don't mean I have to pretend to be someone else, but I have to be seen and heard at a certain level in order to appreciate the fact that I'm alive and functioning.
Ben Kingsley began not as a student of drama, but a full-fledged stage actor, performing Shakespeare before English school children. Those early performances earned him high praise from the troupe's director.
She said, "You are going to be a wonderfully successful Shakespearean actor." My response was, "You're not." She said, "Yes, you." Because I think one of a tendency of mine used to be, and perhaps it's still hanging around, is, oh, other people do this, but not me. Other people will be good at Shakespeare, but not me. It could be a cultural thing. It could be being half Indian, half English. It could be an area of confidence in me that was eroded at school.
Whatever it was, Ben Kingsley used his director's confidence for himself and auditioned for the Royal Shakespeare Company. And for him, it was the beginning of a whole new education.
The Royal Shakespeare Company became my youth, my university, my love, my language, my social life, my sex life, my everything. And it was as if everything was waiting to be poured into this mold. And it wasn't really until that happened that I did feel completely and utterly functioning as an actor.
But he has moved on and now prefers films. But film work is not always steady, and for this professional, he seeks other outlets.
The trouble with acting is either you're doing it or you're not. You know, I can't go somewhere, I can't go to my little studio and practice. So the only middle ground is either to be working on projects or maybe going into a studio and doing the voiceover for a documentary, which I do, or reading a book.
And if you are an audio tape lover, you'll hear Kingsley's voice reading, among other titles, Schindler's List.
"Watch the pavement, Herr Schindler," said the chauffeur. "It's as icy as a widow's heart."
He keeps his acting muscles fresh by also singing and composing music. He teamed up with Julie Andrews and Peebo Bryson for a recording of the Broadway musical, The King and I.
Shall we dance? Shall we dance? Shall we dance?
But whether it's film roles or singing roles, Ben Kingsley is known for insisting upon painstaking preparation.
Well, would you sing for me? You'd want to practice first. Yeah. Impromptu stuff makes you feel kind of nervous.
Oh, dear. Yeah, it does.
Why? Must you be perfect all the time?
Yeah, I'm a perfectionist. Not only am I a perfectionist, I'm a Capricorn. Not only am I a Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn Scorpio rising. So if I do it, you know, it has to be really right.
Well, he's an actor, not a ham. Ben Kingsley lives with his second wife and son in London. He has 2 children from his first marriage.